In the meantime, the tensions over that issue are really at a fever pitch on Capitol Hill. The full House is getting set to vote on creating a select committee to investigate Benghazi. That vote officially expected this afternoon. This is all happening as a conservative watchdog group says the White House is withholding more Benghazi documents that could shed light on those controversial talking points, setting the stage for possibly more explosive revelations. A lot of the possibles there. Let's bring in Republican Congressman and Chief Deputy Whip Peter Roskam of Illinois. Congressman, it's nice to have you on the program.
Thank you very much.
One of your jobs in leadership is to get a sense of where everybody's at, especially before a vote. It's interesting to have Speaker Boehner talking a little bit during his weekly address. He was one of the Republicans that was reluctant in the past to create a select committee. As of today, do you expect unanimous support from Republicans in the House to vote for a select committee?
I think nearly unanimous. I've not heard any objections, and I think it's based on the Speaker's decision in the past. As you pointed out, there was a reluctance on the part of the Speaker to move forward with this, and then it became clear that the White House hasn't come clean and is not likely to come clean on this. There's information that is not available right now because the White House has been sitting on it. So he really had no choice but to move forward on this select committee.
Obviously, your colleagues over across the aisle have some differing points of view on the Benghazi Select Committee. Congressman Van Hollen was on Fox News just about an hour ago. Here's what he had to say about the process so far.
I think if there's a fair process, meaning that this is designed to get the facts, this is designed to be a substantive process as opposed to a political witch hunt, then the answer is yes. But if this is going to be totally skewed and not a fair process, then all you're getting is a kangaroo court, and that doesn't serve the interests of the truth or the American people.
Obviously, a lot of accusations there, Congressman, but how do you ensure that the process is a good one?
Well, I think the good news for Congressman Van Hollen and others who are reluctant about this is to look at the caliber and the integrity of the new chairman. Trey Gowdy has a reputation as a former U.S. attorney who has been bound by professional rules of ethics as he has tried cases and sought justice in South Carolina. As a colleague of his reputation is stellar. He is a fair-minded individual, and to that point, this is a desire to get to the facts preceding the event, during the event, and following the event, and it's a fact-finding mission.
Congressman Van Hollen was very critical of Trey Gowdy in an interview with Martha McCallum on America's Newsroom. Are you confident that the Democrats are going to participate again? Because of your leadership role, you have a sense of the votes. Obviously, the vote may be different from the Democrat side, but what do you think about Democrats actually participating in this select committee?
I don't have much confidence in the Democratic leadership in the House to do much of anything. I think it is a mistake for them, however, not to participate in this committee, because this committee is a fact-finding committee. It's a committee that's similar to committees that Nancy Pelosi set up when she was Speaker of the House on global warming and other efforts that were of importance to her. It has the same balance and the same requisite and the same makeup, and it would be, I think, a mistake. And I think when push comes to shove, they're very likely to appoint members to the committee.
Speaking of the fact-finding part of it, it was an interesting point raised by Politico that was talking about some of the risks to the Republican Party. And here's what Politico had to say, that the panel could overreach, they could underperform, they could degenerate into a partisan witch hunt. You've heard some of these claims before, Congressman, but here's the final point that Politico made, is that there's no clear sense of what Republicans expect they will learn from the investigation. We've talked a lot about talking points. We've talked about potentially other documents ready to be unveiled in some way. We've talked a little bit about policy. If you could speak directly to our viewers, what is the #1 priority of the Select Committee? What exactly is the goal?
The last point of the Politico piece is the most poignant, and it's this, that there is an expectation that the facts are going to come out. Think about how many months after this tragedy, the murder of these 4 individuals, and yet there is no sense of clarity in the public debate today about what preceded, what happened, and what followed. The answer is we don't know. So, yeah, there's a possibility that facts could come forward that could exonerate the White House, and if that's true, I think there would be a general sense of relief. It is ironic, though, that the very White House that's trying to defend this has not been forthcoming. The American public deserves to know exactly what happened with no parsing and no ambiguity.
And you're confident this process will deliver that to the American people?
I do. I think so. And I think that that to the extent that Congress, as a co-equal branch of government, reflecting the view of the American public, is pushing back on a White House that is clearly reluctant and has clearly given in a lawsuit one bit of information and to Congress and the American people different bits of information. They need to come together and this has to be reconciled. And apparently the only way to reconcile this is through this fact-finding effort.
And I got to run, but I have to ask you this final question. What happens if the Democrats don't participate? I know you say that you would want them to and you expect them to, but let's say they don't. Then is the whole process, does it sort of end there? What's your backup plan if that's the case?
Look, I mean, the committee's going to move forward regardless of whether the Democrats choose to participate or not. Those 5 seats will be empty seats if they choose to vacate them. I would argue that that's an abrogation of their responsibility, but that's their prerogative. But unambiguously, this committee will move forward.
Congressman Roskam, great to have you on the program as always. Look forward to having you back. Thank you very much.
Thanks.